another big moment from Trump from his Truth Social account. Rebuild and open Alcatraz, all caps. For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent, and repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering. When we were a more serious nation in times past, we did not hesitate to lock up the most dangerous criminals and keep them far away from anyone they could harm. That's the way it's supposed to be. No longer will we tolerate these serial offenders who spread filth, bloodshed, and mayhem on our streets. That is why today I am directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the Department of Justice, FBI, and Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders. We will no longer be held hostage to criminals, thugs, and judges who are afraid to do their job and allow us to remove criminals who came into our country illegally. The reopening of Alcatraz will serve as a symbol of law, order, and justice. We will make America great again. Okay, so do we think that Alcatraz is? I feel like this would take a long time.
I am behind almost every Trump idea, and this is very funny. I just toured Alcatraz. I have look. There are some things that he tosses out that. See, I know he doesn't drink, but this is like Clay Travis, 3 a.m. at the bar. And we should open up Alcatraz again, too. We should lock violent, dangerous criminals up. Alcatraz, I just toured it. Alcatraz would need a lot of work in order to be rehabilitated as a prison. And it isn't even that big of a prison. So you can't even fit that many people there. And
it has like 300 people at its peak, right? In the 60s.
But we're talking about, I don't think you could put people in the jail cells that they put them in Alcatraz back in the day. Like you couldn't, I've been to prisons.
Take us tour guide Clay. What is it like when you saw this compared to what you thought of? First of all, we'll talk about The Rock in a second. The Rock is the most famous Alcatraz pop culture content of all time, no question. Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage. I think it might be Nicolas Cage's best movie. But okay, so what was it like when you actually saw it?
So it is mostly run down, decrepit, right? They haven't had any prisoners there since 1963. It is not very big. The parts that you can tour, which is basically the whole thing, the jail cells are tiny. So I don't think that you could, in a modern era, put someone inside of those. I also don't think that they would be anywhere near maximum security level prison today, right? Like this is a very old prison that is in no way kept up with the historic standards of security that would have existed over the last 60 years. It is also, they used to have like all the wardens there. In fact, one of the women who grew up there, I mean, they had a school. It's a very fascinating tour. I would encourage anybody who is in San Francisco to get on the boat. It's not very far. It's a gorgeous tour on the bay. I took my 17-year-old out there when we were in San Francisco for a couple of days. But I think it is impossible.
How long on the boat?
Prison. I think you could, I mean, it's like a mile out. So, I mean, 15, 20 minutes probably on the boat.
Quick.
Yeah.
Quick boat
and you
trip.
could get there even quicker if depending on what size boat you had. So it is.
You know that 2 people actually escaped from Alcatraz. Their bodies, though, were never found. They were bank robbers.
I think it was 3 because I was just there. 3 guys. They have no idea what happened.
I'm sorry. 3 guys. Yes, 3 guys.
This is when you just have
tour guide Clay.
Tour guide Clay. And also because, as everyone does, you're like, hey, do you think they made it? And they never found their bodies. Do you think they made it, got to the mainland and just vanished because they never wanted to be found again? Or did they die? You can swim it. My son did not believe me when I said I thought I'm not a very good swimmer. I
was about to ask, do you think you could swim it, and how much money would someone have to pay you? There are very large great white sharks in the San Francisco Bay. Just throw that out.
Well, they also do a yearly race, I think, Escape from Alcatraz. I think Riley Gaines from Outkick and does a lot of Fox News I think she swam it. Now, she was a college swimmer, so she's pretty good. But I think there are hundreds of people that get in there and swim. I think I could make it. My wife said I would drown. But I think,
Thanks, Laura.
yeah, I think I could make it. Now, what I don't know is how the currents work, which would work against me, obviously. Like, does it continue to push you back out? Or in what direction? Or backwards? Could you go to Sausalito in the other direction? I think, or would you just flounder out there for a long time? It probably doesn't surprise anybody that even though I'm not a great swimmer, that I think I could make the swim. I think, and I this could be a really poor choice. I don't think there's actually that many sharks in the bay. I think they have oversold the shark-infested nature of the bay. Now, there are tons of seals, and the seals now come up on Pier 32, which is very cool. But I don't think your odds of actually getting eaten by a shark would be very high. I think you would far more likely to drown. I mean, people swim in
the odds are
wetsuits all
never
the time.
the odds are never high, Clay. But when you're sucking in some salt water and splashing through some waves and getting a little cold and realize you've got another like 40 minutes of swimming ahead of you, and it's then all of a sudden you start to think about, you're like, wait, what do those sharks eat? I think they eat the big fat seals.
Buck, there are people, I didn't realize this. There are people every morning that go down and swim lots of laps in the San Francisco Bay. I mean, they swim all over the place in every day year round because they say, it's like a cold plunge. It toughens them up, and maybe it does. But I think I could make it. I think most people would drown. I'm not a great swimmer, but I've never come close to drowning. I think it would be like the little engine that could. I would just keep going, and eventually I would make it to land.
I love your confidence. One guy who knows something about cold swimming and seals is our friend Dave Rutherford, former Navy SEAL, who is on the Clay and Buck Podcast Network. You should check out the Dave Rutherford Show. He's getting so many people tuning in and listening every week. It's growing. But I asked him about this because that was always the thing that bothered me about. Now, there's a lot of implausible stuff, but I don't care. I love The Rock. It's a great movie. But if you've seen, it's the only movie I've ever seen where a SEAL team comes in, like the cavalry has arrived, and they get completely wiped out. I don't think they take out like a single bad guy too. I asked Rudd if he would weigh in on the depiction of the SEALs in The Rock, the movie, and he gave us a talk back. Play 27.
Okay, Clay, Buck, allow me to jump in on this Rock dispute a little bit. And listen, I absolutely love that movie. I mean, Nick Cage and 007. I mean, the prom queen comment, one of the funniest ever. Absolutely loved it. But here's the deal. There is no way that Master Chief Denny Chalker, a former plank owner of SEAL Team 6, or Instructor Haas, both of which who were instructors of mine in the 90s when this thing came out, there is no way that they would allow that operational fiasco to take place. It's just not going to happen, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I love my Marine Corps brothers. I love that they eat crayons for a living, but there is just no way in hell that those cats would have gotten the jump on a SEAL team platoon of that level in that situation. It just ain't going to happen. So it is what it is. Hoo-yah.
I'm just saying, they're not all going to one by one slowly crawl into a bathroom with an elevated platform around it meant for people to ambush them? Yeah. I'm just, let's give the SEALs some credit here.
It was Ed Harris's finest role. It's one of Sean Connery. I know he was James Bond, but Sean Connery is incredible in that movie. And obviously, Nicolas Cage is pretty extraordinary. I mean, I watched it, for those of you out there, I think it came out in 1995-ish. I watched it because it was on paper, that smart move by the San Francisco hotel, because we came back from Alcatraz. We're back in the hotel room that night. I'm telling my son, hey, there was a great action movie made about Alcatraz called The Rock. He has no idea what I'm talking about. Sit down, start scrolling through the available movies that night at 9 o'clock or whatever it was. Boom, The Rock is available for rent. I might be the only person who's paid $15 to watch The Rock in the last decade, but we watched it. He loved it. My junior in high school had no idea. He was like, "This is so good, Dad." I was like, "I thought you would like it."
Yeah, they don't make movies like that anymore. It was a great flick. I really enjoyed it, and I would, if any of you haven't seen it, Certainly, I didn't realize Carrie had never seen Commando, so you never know. If any of you haven't seen The Rock, it's certainly worth, and it's a great rewatch as well. Like if you've seen it 100 times, it's still a lot of fun. But let me ask you, getting back to policy and the news here for a second. So what happens? Trump is the president. He tells Bureau of Prisons to reopen this. What happens now? Like really, what happens now? Do they start to try to think about how they could do this?
First of all, it would take, I bet, 7 or 8 years to retrofit. So Trump is not going to be president when it would be done. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a National Park Service site. I presume that the president has executive authority to change the way that it's classified. But what would happen? I don't know. Like if Trump just came out and he was like, "Hey, we're going to put a prison at Gettysburg Battlefield." I don't know. Does the president have the authority to alter a national historic site? I think it would probably, like almost everything Trump tries to do, probably go to court, because I would think the people of San Francisco, it's one of the most iconic tourist attractions in San Francisco. And I think they would probably argue that it has more value to them now as a tourist attraction than it would as a prison. To say nothing of, again, you basically would have to tear down the entire prison structure and build a brand new prison in order to be able to hold anybody there.
Can I just, the Bureau of Prisons has already been asked about this, and their response is, we comply with all presidential orders. so I mean, that is the official Bureau of Prisons response so far, as I'm seeing here, to Trump saying this, which makes sense. He is the president, and he has said do this, so I guess they're going to start to do this.
Funny. I don't know how this is going to play out. And I can't imagine it being safe to put a prisoner there because you don't want him to escape. I can't imagine it being very easy to rehab and put a prisoner there. So that is interesting in and of itself.
Few nonprofit organizations can make the claim that Preborn can, that they have saved the lives of 300,000 unborn babies. This 20-year-old nonprofit has been chasing that single mission for so many years and has had such incredible results. And they need you, the pro-life community, to back them. Here's what they do. The Preborn team at clinics nationwide welcome pregnant mothers to their facilities when the decision is being made for life or abortion. They do all they can to convince a pregnant mother that the best option is life. One way that Preborn achieves their goal is by giving a free ultrasound to that mom-to-be. And so often that is the game-changing moment when mom realizes, oh my gosh, I have to give life to this tiny baby. Preborn does this with just a $28 expense per ultrasound. So if you and I can donate $28, for example, that may well save a life. But they'll take donations of any amount, whatever you can spare, $8, $800. It's all tax deductible, and it goes toward the incredibly important mission of saving lives. To donate securely to Preborn, dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, say baby, or go to preborn.com/buck. That's preborn.com/BUCK.